In the middle of an endless desert, where wind howls like an ancient spirit and the sun bakes the earth until it fractures, there is a story that has survived for thousands of years. They say beneath the dunes, hidden under waves of shifting sand, lies a city built by giants, a city of pillars, where trade, knowledge, and wealth once flowed like rivers. And they say the desert swallowed it whole. This is the story of the secret city beneath the desert. A place whispered of in scripture, feared in folklore, and hunted by explorers who risked everything to prove it was real. The Quran tells us of Iram of the Pillars, a city of immense beauty, but also of arrogance. Its rulers, intoxicated by wealth, turned away from God. And so the city was punished. The desert itself rose up, and the sands consumed it, erasing it from the face of the earth. But legends like this don't appear from nothing. Bedouin tribes across the Arabian Peninsula passed down similar stories. They spoke of ruined towers glimpsed beneath the sand and of voices that carried on the wind at night. Some said travelers who strayed too far vanished, taken by the spirits of Iram. To Western explorers, it sounded like myth. Yet, the myth refused to die. A sandstorm raged across North Africa as Allied troops marched through the dunes. A soldier, cut off from his unit, stumbled blindly for hours until he collapsed against stone. It wasn't a boulder, it was a wall, half buried in sand, weathered by centuries, but unmistakably carved by human hands. He described a tunnel entrance leading downward where the air turned cool and damp. He swore he heard water echoing from below. His report, filed with the military, was dismissed as disorientation, but it lingered in archives, buried like the city itself. 2 decades later, the desert was no longer as private as it once was. The Cold War had eyes in the sky, satellites peering into every corner of the Earth. And in the 1960s, analysts noticed something odd. Geometric shadows beneath the Sahara, lines too straight, angles too perfect. They resembled streets, walls. But there were no cities there, at least not anymore. Some suggested Roman ruins, others thought it might be a collapsed caravan stop. But whispers grew louder. Was this Iram? Official reports were vague, but behind the scenes governments grew interested. Expeditions were discreetly funded, archaeologists were sent, and then, just as suddenly, projects were cancelled. Teams came back empty-handed, or not at all. A French team in 1967, an American-led survey in 1972, a private British explorer in 1978. Each time the same story. A group sets out with maps, supplies, and determination. They march into the dunes. And then silence. Those who returned spoke of mechanical failures, compass needles spinning wildly, radios that cut out the moment they neared the suspected site. And always, the sandstorms. Sudden, violent storms that appeared out of nowhere, burying equipment, swallowing landmarks, scattering teams. Some said it was simply the desert doing what deserts do. Others believed something else was at work, something that wanted the city to remain hidden. By the 1980s, whispers gained a name. Ubar. Western newspapers called it the Atlantis of the Sands. Writers painted vivid pictures of lost towers, of gold and incense caravans, of a city of unimaginable wealth. And then in 1992, something happened that changed everything. NASA satellites, using radar imaging, traced ancient caravan routes across the Arabian desert. They converged on one spot, a collapsed limestone sinkhole. When archaeologists dug there, they found walls, pillars, pottery. Had they found Ubar? The discovery made headlines worldwide. Lost city of Arabia found, they declared, but not everyone agreed. Some argued it was just a fortified outpost, a trading post, not a city. Still, the story was alive again. What makes this story so haunting is not what was found above the sand, but what waits below it. Survivors of failed expeditions speak of vast stone staircases, caverns where sunlight pierced through shafts at dawn, ventilation systems carrying cool air into labyrinths of homes. If true, this was no ordinary outpost. This was engineering on a scale unmatched in the ancient world. And then there are the claims that the tunnels stretch for miles, deeper and deeper, until the walls grow slick with condensation. that the air grows thin, that voices echo from chambers you cannot see. Some insist the city was sealed, not abandoned, that whatever lies at the lowest levels is not meant for human eyes. A geologist once described sand above certain ruins that had fused into glass. That happens only under extreme heat, lightning, meteor strikes, or nuclear blasts. But how could such a thing exist thousands of years before nuclear weapons? Others point to inscriptions etched into stone. Some resemble known languages, others do not. Archaeologists argue endlessly. Phoenician, South Arabian, or something entirely unknown. And then there's the water. Beneath the city, explorers reported rivers running underground. Some suggest the settlement was built to control this resource, a hidden oasis. But what if it was something more? Some researchers whisper about energy, natural or otherwise, that may have concentrated here, an ancient knowledge now erased. Legends say those who enter Iram never leave unchanged. Bedouin tribes avoid the area. Travelers tell stories of footsteps in the sand behind them, though no one followed. Of flickering lights beneath the dunes, of voices whispering their names. Modern explorers report equipment that refuses to function, batteries drained, data corrupted. Is it superstition? Or is the desert still protecting its secret? The strangest reports of all come from the sky. Satellite scans that once showed clear outlines of walls and roads now reveal only sand. The ruins vanished. As if the city hides when it chooses, as if it's still alive. So what is the truth of the secret city beneath the desert? Was it simply a hub of trade, crushed by time and sand, a place inflated by legend into something greater than it was? Or was it something else? Something humanity is not yet ready to face? Maybe it was both. A city of men that became a city of myth. And perhaps that's what makes it so powerful. Not what we can prove, but what we cannot. Because every grain of sand that shifts in the wind may be hiding a tower. Every dune that ripples may be covering a street. Every desert night may be echoing with voices from a city that refuses to be forgotten. This was the secret city beneath the desert. If you believe there are still truths buried beneath the earth, waiting for us to uncover them, subscribe. Because this is only one secret, and there are countless more.